A few videos back, I spoke about what really hinders the saints is what we call a sickness. Not a cough, not a sneeze, unless that hinders you from actually going to church and doing God's will and going in His way. You'll find that a sickness hinders the greatest fruits that you've worked so hard to attain. And that's just it. If Satan is able to manipulate the fruits in which you have worked so hard to attain, then he's got the saints. Because God didn't tell us this explicitly, but he mentioned in so many verses within the New Testament that we should work on those fruits, and by your fruits you should know him. And there's many other verses in which he mentions fruits. So it's imperative that we look at those fruits and what can hinder those fruits. And let's speak about this COVID-19 because it's so important. Now, there's a lot of people out there that's meant to bring the news to you. But when you are dealing with people who are trying to place fear in you, that's a whole nother step that they're taking that should not be taken. It's up to us in our spirit for us to decipher what we should fear. And in God, there is no fear. In God's love, there is no fear. So when we look at this and we're trying to materialize information, we need to really understand what the media is trying to tell us. Right? I'm not saying that COVID-19 doesn't exist. I'm not going to say that people are not dying. I'm not going to say that there's people not in the hospital sick right now. But what I am saying is that when you take a step towards saying that the virus doesn't care who you believe in, now you're stepping on grounds that you should have never gone to. Because now you're dealing with our faith. And COVID-19 is a great example of how people could push the elements of broadcasting the news, changing how people think, feel, act. Right? So the whole idea is that there's a lot of people, a lot of language barriers that are going to hinder the news from being told. Right? So what happens to them? Obviously, they're still living, right? And that's just it. What government is going to have to do in the next few months is try to remove the fear that was already placed within the people of this world and make it seem as though it's okay to go back outside. It's okay to socialize. It's okay to go back to work. Don't make the media your God. Is the whole point to this message. Let God be your God. He's the only God. People are going to tell you a lot of things. Just like they told Jesus, look, they're seeking to kill you. And you want to go to Lazarus in broad daylight? We should go at night if anything. He says, look, a person who goes at night stumbleth. But a person who goes in the daytime, his way is made straight, is clear. So of course news is going to come. They're just doing their job. But you have to hold on to God's unchanging hand. That's your job. Because at the end of it, God is going to ask you what stopped you from coming to church? What stopped you from assembling? What stopped you from praising me? What stopped you from reading the word? What stopped you from singing the songs? Should be nothing. Even as the word of God says, what shall hinder us from the goodness of God? Nothing. Should be our testimony. But obviously there are some things that will make us lose sight of what matters in life. Look, I'm not here to put you down. I'm not here to put down the media in a sense, but I just want you guys to realize how people are playing with triggers as though you're a game. And they're using numbers in order to manipulate the saints. Now, I'm not here to say they're lying. I'm just saying they're embellishing numbers in order to make it seem bigger than what it actually is. God says one could put 1,000 to flight and two could put 10,000. Who's preaching this word? Who's getting the word out? So in closing, hold on to God's unchanging hand. It's a wonderful thing when God is able to tell you the type of news you should really pay attention to. We will be all right. We will rise and we'll get out of this situation. I just hope that when you get out, you're much stronger than when you got in it. God bless.